Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep, really deep,
Sure.
into the world of AI.
AI, huh?
Yeah, artificial intelligence. A listener actually sent us this super interesting article by Ahmad Farouk all about it. And, well, it's a lot to unpack, so we figured, why not break it down together?
Sounds good to me. Lots of buzz around AI these days. Everyone's
Well,
talking about it, but, not everyone really gets what it is, what it can do, all that.
right. Farouk's article, it's pretty comprehensive. He defines AI, talks about the different types, the core concepts. Then he jumps into all the ways AI is being used, which is a lot more than I think most people realize.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, he gets into the benefits, but also the challenges. Like, what happens when machines start thinking like us? What does that mean for, well, for everything?
Exactly. It's like we're at this turning point.
Okay.
AI is everywhere, changing industries, changing how we live. It's a bit mind-blowing, to be honest.
I know what you mean. It's exciting, but there are definitely things to be cautious about, to think through carefully.
All right, so before we get ahead of ourselves, let's go back to the basics. What is artificial intelligence, according to Farouk? Like, how does he define it?
Okay, so Farouk, he describes AI as essentially the science and engineering of creating machines that can, well, think like humans.
Think like humans.
Yeah, machines that can learn, solve problems, reason, make decisions, all those things we consider, intelligent behavior.
So it's not just about robots doing our chores, right?
Mhm.
It's about machines that can actually process information and make choices based on that information.
Exactly. It's about creating systems that can mimic or at least simulate human cognitive abilities. Pretty wild stuff when you think about it.
Absolutely. Now, Farouk talks about two main types of AI, narrow AI and general AI. What's the difference between those two?
All right, so narrow AI, sometimes called weak AI, it's what we mostly see today. It's AI designed for a very specific task, one thing it does really well.
Like what? Give me an example.
Oh, like facial recognition on your phone?
Hmm.
Or spam filters in your email, or even those recommendation algorithms, the ones that tell you what to buy on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little too good sometimes. So they're really good at that one specific thing, but they can't, like, do anything else.
Pretty much. They're limited to that domain. They don't have the broad intelligence to, say, write a poem or design a building.
Got it. So narrow AI is like a specialist.
Yeah.
And what about general AI? Is that like the super intelligent robots we see in movies?
Kind of.
Well,
General AI, sometimes called strong AI or deep AI, it's the idea of a machine that can do any intellectual task.
okay, that's intimidating. So we're not quite there yet. Phew. But Farouk's article, it dives into some key concepts that are driving AI development.
Hmm.
One that comes up a lot is machine learning. Can you explain that in a way that, even I can understand?
Sure. Machine learning, or ML, it's about giving machines the ability to learn from data without explicitly programming every single step.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like instead of telling a computer exactly how to recognize a cat, you feed it tons of cat pictures and let it figure out the patterns itself.
So it's learning by example, kind of.
Exactly. And the more data it gets, the better it gets at the task. It can start making predictions, identifying trends, adapting to new information.
That makes sense. And then there's deep learning, right? Farouk describes that as a subset of machine learning. What makes it deep?
The deep part comes from using artificial neural networks. These networks are kind of inspired by the human brain with layers of interconnected nodes that process information.
Like a digital brain.
In a way, yeah. And the more layers there are, the deeper the network, the more complex patterns it can learn. This is what powers things like facial recognition, speech recognition, even self-driving cars.
Okay, so deep learning is like machine learning on steroids. More complex, more powerful.
You could say that it's able to handle much more complex tasks, things that were pretty much impossible for computers to do before.
Wow. This is getting pretty deep, pun intended. What about natural language processing? NLP, I think Farouk calls it. What is that all about?
NLP is all about helping machines understand and use human language.
So like making computers understand English.
Not just English, any language. It's about bridging the gap between how we communicate and how computers process information. Think about chatbots, voice assistants. Those things wouldn't exist without NLP.
Right. So when I ask my smart speaker to play music, it's NLP that's letting it understand what I mean.
Exactly. And it's getting better all the time. NLP is being used to translate languages, generate text, summarize documents, even write different kinds of creative content.
That's amazing. And a little scary, to be honest. Computers writing novels. What's next?
Well, speaking of seeing, That's where computer vision comes in. It's another key concept Farouk discusses.
Computer vision, so like giving computers eyes.
In a sense, yeah, computer vision is about enabling computers to see and interpret images and videos. It's used in things like self-driving cars to detect objects on the road, in medical imaging to analyze scans, even in security systems to identify suspicious activity.
Wow, so it's like giving machines the ability to understand the visual world. That's pretty incredible.
It is, and it's opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Think about robots that can work alongside humans in factories, or drones that can inspect infrastructure for damage.
I can see the potential for sure.
Yeah.
Farouk also talks about different approaches to AI, different techniques for making machines learn. One of those is supervised learning. What's that all about?
Supervised learning is like, well, imagine you're teaching a kid how to sort blocks by color. You show them a red block, you say red. You show them a blue block, you say blue.
Oh.
So, in supervised learning, you give the AI labeled data where the right answers are already provided. The AI learns from these examples to make predictions or classifications on new data it hasn't seen before.
So it's like having a teacher guide the learning process, giving the AI feedback along the way.
Exactly. And it's really effective for tasks like, well, Farouk mentions spam filtering. The AI learns to identify spam based on examples of spam and non-spam emails.
Makes sense. So what happens when you take away the teacher? Is that what unsupervised learning is?
You got it. Unsupervised learning is more like giving that kid a pile of blocks and saying, figure out how to organize these.
Interesting. So no labels, no right answers.
Right. The AI has to find patterns and structure in the data all on its own. This is useful for things like customer segmentation, where you want to group customers with similar behaviors, or anomaly detection, where you're trying to find those data points that just don't fit in.
So it's about finding those hidden connections, the things we might not even know to look for. That's pretty powerful. What about reinforcement learning? How does that work?
Reinforcement learning is all about learning through trial and error, a bit like how we train pets.
Oh, okay. So give me a treat when I sit.
Exactly. In reinforcement learning, the AI takes actions in an environment, and it gets rewards for good actions, penalties for bad ones.
So it's learning what works and what doesn't through experience.
Right. Over time, it learns the best strategy, the one that maximizes its rewards. This is used for things like training robots to navigate complex environments or teaching AI to play games.
Fascinating. And then there's transfer learning. What is that about?
Transfer learning is all about efficiency. It's like, say you learn to play the piano.
Okay.
Learning to play a similar instrument, like the keyboard, becomes a lot easier because you can transfer some of that knowledge and skill.
Right, I get it.
So, in transfer learning, you take an AI that's already learned one task and use that knowledge to help it learn a new but related task. This can save a lot of time and resources, especially when you don't have a lot of data for the new task.
So it's like building on what the AI already knows to speed up the learning process. That's pretty smart.
It is, and it's one of the reasons AI development is accelerating so quickly. Now, this all might sound a bit abstract, but Farouk really brings it to life when he starts talking about how AI is being used in different industries.
Right, because AI is not just some futuristic concept anymore. It's actually being used to solve real-world problems. Let's start with healthcare. What does Farouk say about AI in that field?
He highlights a pretty stark statistic.
Yeah.
83% of patients say that poor communication is the worst part of their healthcare experience.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is, and it shows a real need for improvement. Farouk suggests that AI, specifically NLP, could help bridge that communication gap between doctors and patients.
Awesome.
Well, imagine an AI that can translate complex medical jargon into plain language that anyone can understand, or an AI that can analyze patient data to identify potential risks or suggest personalized treatment plans.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
AI could help people understand their health better and make more informed decisions.
Exactly. And it could free up doctors to focus on, actually caring for patients, building those human connections that are so important.
Absolutely. What about transportation? Self-driving cars are a big topic these days. What's Farouk's take on that?
He sees huge potential in autonomous vehicles, especially in terms of safety and efficiency. Think about it. Machines don't get tired, they don't get distracted, they don't make emotional decisions.
Oh, you follow the rules.
Exactly. So self-driving cars could drastically reduce accidents caused by human error. And they could optimize traffic flow, reducing congestion and emissions.
That would be a game changer, especially in cities. What about finance and banking? How is AI changing that industry?
Farouk talks about how AI is being used to manage risk, to detect fraud, to make investment decisions, even to personalize financial advice. It's all about using data to make smarter, faster, and more informed choices.
So even though we might not see robot bankers anytime soon, AI is definitely working behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely. It's making the financial system more efficient and secure. And it's opening up new opportunities for people to manage their money and plan for their future.
Interesting. And what about retail? I feel like AI is already pretty prevalent there, at least online.
You're right. Those personalized product recommendations, targeted ads, those are all powered by AI. But it goes even further than that.
How so?
Well, Farouk talks about AI-powered chatbots that can provide customer support, AI systems that optimize inventory management, even AI-driven robots that are starting to work in warehouses and fulfillment centers.
So AI is streamlining the entire shopping experience, both online and offline.
Yes, and it's giving businesses a lot more data about their customers, which can help them offer better products and services.
I see the potential there, for sure. What about education? How is AI changing how we learn and teach?
Farouk sees a lot of exciting possibilities in this area. He talks about personalized learning platforms that adapt to each student's individual needs and learning style. He also mentions AI-powered tutoring systems that can provide personalized support and feedback.
So AI could help create a more individualized learning experience for every student.
Exactly. And it could help teachers be more effective by automating tasks like grading and providing them with insights into how students are learning.
That's a huge potential benefit, especially as classrooms get more diverse and the demands on teachers increase.
Right. Now, of course, with all these potential benefits, there are also challenges and concerns that we need to address. Farouk doesn't shy away from those in his article.
Right, it's not all sunshine and roses. So let's talk about the downsides. What are some of the potential risks of AI that we need to be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is bias. AI systems are trained on data, and if that data reflects existing biases in society, those biases can be amplified by the AI.
So like if an AI is trained on data that mostly features white men, it might struggle to recognize or accurately classify images of women or people of color.
Exactly. And this can have real-world consequences, especially when AI is used in areas like hiring or loan applications.
That's a serious issue. What else?
Another big concern is job displacement. As AI gets better at performing tasks that humans currently do, there's a risk that many jobs will be automated.
Right, I've heard that concern a lot.
It's definitely something we need to think about. How do we ensure that everyone benefits from AI, not just those who own or control the technology?
It's a big question. What about the ethical implications of AI? Does Farouk touch on those?
He does. He raises questions about things like transparency and accountability, like how do we ensure that AI systems are making fair and ethical decisions, and who's responsible when things go wrong?
Right, because if an AI makes a mistake, who do we hold accountable? The programmer,
Mhm.
the company that developed it. It gets complicated.
It does. And these are questions that society as a whole needs to grapple with as AI becomes more powerful and pervasive.
It's a lot to consider.
Uh,
So on the one hand, we have this incredible technology with the potential to revolutionize so many aspects of our lives. But on the other hand, we have these serious risks and ethical challenges that we need to address.
that's the reality of AI. It's both exciting and daunting. And it's up to us to shape how it develops and how we use it.
Absolutely. Now, despite the challenges, there's no denying that AI is rapidly advancing. What are some of the future developments in AI that Farouk talks about? What's on the horizon?
Well, one of the most exciting areas is quantum computing. It's a completely different way of computing that harnesses the principles of quantum mechanics.
Quantum mechanics. That sounds pretty complicated.
It is, but the basic idea is that quantum computers can solve certain problems exponentially faster than classical computers.
Exponentially faster. So, like, problems that would take a normal computer years to solve could be done in minutes.
Potentially, yeah. This could have a huge impact on AI development, allowing us to create much more powerful and sophisticated AI systems.
Wow. So, quantum computing could be the key to unlocking the full potential of AI?
It's definitely one of the most promising avenues of research. Farouk also mentions another exciting area, explainable AI, or XAI.
Explainable AI. What's that about?
Right now, a lot of AI systems are kind of black boxes. We know what they do, but we don't always understand how they do it. XAI is about making AI more transparent, more understandable to humans.
So it's about being able to see inside the AI's mind, so to speak, to understand its reasoning process.
Exactly. This is important for a few reasons. First, it helps build trust. If we can understand how an AI is making decisions, we're more likely to trust those decisions.
That makes sense.
Second, it helps with accountability. If an AI makes a mistake, we need to be able to trace back why it made that mistake. And third, it helps us improve AI systems. If we can understand how they work, we can make them work better.
So XAI is about making AI more responsible, more reliable, and more understandable to us humans.
Exactly. And it's a really important area of research as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. Finally, Farouk talks about the convergence of AI and the Internet of Things, or IoT.
Ah, the Internet of Things. I've heard that term a lot, but I'm still not quite sure what it means.
Think of it as a network of interconnected devices that can collect and share data. Your smartphone, your smartwatch, your smart thermostat, those are all part of the IoT.
So everyday objects that are connected to the Internet.
Right. Now, when you combine that with AI, you get some really interesting possibilities.
Like what?
Well, imagine a city where traffic lights can adjust in real time based on traffic flow data collected by sensors, or a factory where machines can predict and prevent breakdowns before they happen, or a healthcare system where patients can be monitored remotely using wearable devices.
So it's about using AI to make sense of all the data that's being generated by the IoT, and then using that knowledge to improve efficiency, safety, and well-being.
Exactly. The combination of AI and the IoT has the potential to create a much more intelligent and responsive world.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI. I have to say, it's a lot to wrap my head around.
I know what you mean. It's a vast and rapidly evolving field. But even just scratching the surface like we've done today, it's clear that AI is already having a profound impact on our lives, and it's only going to become more influential in the years to come.
So to sum it all up, we talked about what AI is, the different types of AI, the key concepts driving it, and the ways it's being used across various industries. We also discussed the potential benefits and the very real risks of AI, and we peeked into the future at some of the exciting developments on the horizon.
Right. And as we move forward with this incredibly powerful technology, it's crucial to remember that we have choices to make. We can choose to use AI to improve our lives, to solve problems, to create a better future, or we can let it control us, amplify our biases, and exacerbate inequality. The path we choose is up to us.
It's a powerful thought, and it's something I'm going to keep in mind as I navigate this increasingly AI-driven world. I hope our listeners will do the same.
Me too. And for our listeners, a final thought. As you encounter AI in your daily life, think about the choices being made both by the technology and by the people behind it.
Because ultimately, AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're shaping right now with every choice we make.